wobbly. Okay, ladies, go.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Brian Hooten here.
Dr. Angela
Perini.
Perini. Hannah.
This is almost Dr. Hannah Cross. And ladies, I think the camera is right here. We'll get some people tuning in. If you're watching live on Facebook, welcome. We're in our home office here in Dallas. We have another office in Plano that we'll be recording out of eventually. Stay tuned. This video is going to be all about two topics. We're going to talk about heart health and mental health. So name some heart conditions. Like when people hear heart health, Hannah, what are some of the real common heart symptoms?
Arrhythmias.
Arrhythmia.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure. What's some more? And I've got them on the spot. This is more of a welcome video for both of them. Dr. Hannah will be starting here real quick. She graduates real soon from Parker. Yay.
Yay.
So what are some other heart conditions? Like when somebody comes in, what do they put down on their paperwork that they're dealing with in terms of their heart?
Regurgitation or stenosis.
Stenosis of their arteries. Yeah, okay. What else?
High
blood pressure.
Yeah.
High
I said that.
cholesterol.
High cholesterol. Yeah.
Right? Maybe you've had stents. What about in terms of mental health? If you're just tuning in, this video is all about heart health and mental health. We're going to go through a couple of key points on what you can do, how you need to be thinking about this. Obviously, most importantly, your solutions. So what about in terms of mental health? What's
Depression.
depression?
Mm-hmm.
What do we see people coming in here with?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
They like feel nervous all the time.
So, yep.
Panic attack.
Panic attacks, right? What about children? What mental health issues are affecting our young people? Hi, Laura.
ADD.
ADD.
ADHD.
ADHD. So what are some of those medications for mental disorders?
So you're going to...
Listen, I use that term disorders lightly. We're going to actually talk about that word. I don't like it. I don't like diagnoses at all.
Anti-anxiety medications.
Do y'all know any of the names of those?
Is Wellbutrin.
Wellbutrin's a big one.
Yeah.
Xanax. Although you say it a lot sweeter than I do.
Zoloft.
Zoloft from the peanut gallery over there. Lexapro. What's another one? What about for kids? What about kids' mental?
Adderall.
Adderall, I think, is currently the #1 street drug because, if I remember correctly, it's an amphetamine.
Yeah, it uses the same receptors in the brain as cocaine.
Yep. Ritalin, Adderall, Focalin, all these different things. So, what do heart health and mental health have to do with each other? Well, if you follow the rules for one, you are going to positively affect the other one also. Really, your body is either working or it's not. It doesn't necessarily matter what the symptoms are. But if you know you have had heart issues and you know you've had mental health issues, we're going to give you some practical stuff. Before we get into that, though, I have a question for you guys. The word diagnosis, somebody comes in with ADD, ADHD, or high blood pressure, or any of 1,000 different things that a doctor has told them. What's wrong with getting a diagnosis in the medical system?
Like you have to live with it for the rest of your life. There's nothing you can do for it. That's right.
Yeah,
they're labeling you.
Yeah.
They're labeling you. And then if you ask them how it happened, so Dr. Hannah, I've got this high blood pressure and high cholesterol and I can't focus anymore. I'm getting depressed. My testosterone is low. Why is that happening? What does a medical doctor tell you?
Genetics.
It's in your genes, right? So that is the first thing we have to crush. Please stop believing in that lie. Genes do not determine your health outcomes. They're not programmed that way. In fact, your genes are made perfect, right? The only thing you don't have control of is like your skin color and your hair color and your eye color and that kind of thing. But genes are like the way your cells are behaving. So while we say it's not genetics, can you tie it into a family? Because they say the question is on the questionnaire, do you have a family history of high blood pressure, anxiety, or whatever. How could we relate that to our family? How would it be related?
Like as in like Uncle Joe had high blood pressure.
Yeah. So let's say your mom and dad had, you know what? More specifically, what were you dealing with?
Me?
You had it.
Well, yeah, my heart was going out of
So we
whack
had an
and
arrhythmia.
everything. Yeah.
And you had 2 medications for
Depression.
depression. So here's Dr. Hannah. Obviously, are you taking those medicines anymore?
Oh.
And how's your heart?
It's fine.
How's the depression?
I no longer have it.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't stop smiling, which is one reason I'm really excited to have you around here. Definitely not depressed. So here's somebody that actually lived through arrhythmia. I had a heart palpitation. You know, it showed up after I quit playing soccer. It's all gone now. I'm 100% better. I never took depression medications. I know you didn't either. But whether it's all that or Dr. Angela had, what did you have?
I had tingling and numbness in my arm and in my face. And they did give me anti-anxiety medications for a couple of days.
So anti-anxiety medications, because they said, oh, this might be in your head. Let's just give you a drug for anxiety. You know, a lot of you have been there. The big problem, there's a couple of big problems with that. Number one, it's not in your genes, but if you behave like your parents did, I'll tell you right now, and my dad's going to watch this video, if I behaved like my dad did, and still into my 40s and going into my 50s, if I behaved like he did when he was 30, 40, and 50, you know what? I'm going to get the same outcome. Yeah. I'm going to have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. And he used to have all that, by the way. That's all gone. All that medicine is gone. I never had that. I had that arrhythmia, which we're going to talk specifically about our palpitation. You had the arrhythmia. We're going to talk about that in a second in relation to the spine. The point of that is it's not your genes. You got to quit believing that lie. God didn't make a mistake with your genes. In fact, genes, if you want to read up on this, look up epigenetics. And there's a whole slew of heart doctors that are coming out all over the place saying, hey, this is not your genes, and you quit blaming it on your genes. You have control, you have control, you have control. So I always tell people that. That's the first thing we want to get across to you, is that you have control. And that also means whose responsibility, Dr. Hannah, whose responsibility is your heart health?
It's mine.
Whose responsibility was the anxiety?
Mine.
It is my responsibility. My health is my responsibility. Your health is your responsibility. It is not the doctor's, and it's not your genes. Stop blaming that. And if you've been fed that lie over and over and over again for years, and maybe your parents were, maybe their parents were fed that lie, it's easy to get it mistaken for a fact. It's not a fact. And if you look around, there are people that beat this stuff all the time anyway. That completely destroys this gene theory. Just stop. Stop right there. Take responsibility and start moving forward. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that if you don't take responsibility, let's say that you're either taking drugs for heart health or blood pressure, whatever, and anxiety or whatever. If you don't take responsibility and change that, what happens as you grow up?
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
But what happens to your overall body?
It's going to deteriorate.
down.
It's going down.
If you don't take responsibility and you keep going to the doctor and you keep doing these annual checkups or whatever, and they keep you on medication, as a matter of physical principle, your body is going to get worse. And where do you wind up?
Nursing home.
In the nursing home.
That's
Or
right.
if you can't afford a nursing home, which is like $8,000 or $10,000 a month now, you wind up being dependent on who?
Your kids,
Your family.
your family.
Your kids and your family. I don't know about you, but I don't want steel wiping my butt. You know what I mean? And I don't want to die in a nursing home or hospital. So if you listen, and I hate to be gruesome and depressing, no
but
pun
it's true.
intended.
It's true.
But when do people typically think about that?
When
When
they're
it's
in
too
that
late.
situation.
When do you take your health seriously? Think about it. Take a second. Find your big reason why. Mine is I don't want to put my family through some nightmare. I watched my grandmother go through it. I watched my uncle go through it. I've had an uncle get a clean bill of health and drop dead on a tennis court at 50. We've been there. How many of you have been there? Okay, take your health seriously. Take responsibility. Now, let's get to some truth. Right? We don't want to end up in the nursing home. It's not your genes. Let's get real. So, Now, if you don't know this, I'm 20 years into practice, so I've just seen so much. So I might put them on the spot here. In fact, I'm going to try. How would somebody go about beginning to heal from heart problems? Dr. Angela, what's the first thing you have to do?
Remove the pressure of the spine.
Very good.
There you go.
Shocker, right? Take responsibility and remove the pressure from the spine. I can't say it as sweetly as she did, but you have to remove pressure from the spine. What does that mean? Well, your spine organizes and controls everything. And we're going to tie this into mental health in a little bit too. Dr. Hannah, does your spine control your heart?
Your brain, yeah.
Yeah, your brain and your spine are controlling and organizing your circulatory system, the entire thing, from your heart, your respiratory system, your lungs, all of it. If you take my brain out, what happens to me? Or what happens to my heart?
Stops.
Yeah, what happens to your heart if you take your brain out?
You die.
You die.
This is not some weird belief system. Obviously, your brain and your spinal cord are directly controlling your heart. If your blood pressure goes up, why does it go up?
It's trying to protect your body.
That's right. But what is telling your heart to pump harder?
Your brain.
Shocker. I can't stump these ladies.
Very good.
Your brain tells your heart to pump harder on purpose because you're needing oxygen somewhere or you're needing nutrients. I always like to use the analogy of if a bear comes running through the front door of our window right here, what happens to all of our blood pressure?
It's going to go up real
It's
quick.
going to go up, right? Now, if we sprint out of here and into the cardiologist office and they diagnose you, here's your blood pressure medicine, like it's a mistake. No, you want your blood pressure to go up so you can get away from the bear. The problem is people are living with this stress on their spine day in and day out, keeping their brain and their body disconnected on some level, and the heart is having to work harder to feed oxygen everywhere, to feed nutrients because of this constant pounding of stress on the spinal cord. And then the nerves can't quite get there to help regulate everything. Your spine is in charge. And I have lost track over the years of how many people came in here with high blood pressure and all they didn't change anything else about their life, got adjusted, and boom. In fact, when you first started getting adjusted, what happened to your arrhythmia?
It went away.
What is arrhythmia anyway? Why don't you tell everybody?
It's just an irregular heartbeat. So
What would happen to you?
I would be sitting down and like this, and my heart rate would go up to about 200, and then I would get really dizzy, like I was about to pass out, and then I would lay in bed and it felt like my heart was about to pound out of my chest.
So in Hannah's case, her brain and her heart, with the nerve signals, were all kinds of screwed up because there was a problem in your neck.
Yeah.
That nobody talks about because I don't remember you ever telling me your neck hurt. So the only way you're going to know that is by getting proper X-rays. And listen, I wish all chiropractors talked this way. They do not. I mean, we represent about 1% of the profession. We're not trying to treat a heart. We're not trying to treat anxiety or depression. We're going to get to the cause of it. Get your spine working so your body can begin to work. And you heard her. What happened to your arrhythmia?
I don't have them.
You don't have them. Now, if you've had heart racing episodes in the past, that's also another sign of what? Anxiety.
Yeah.
Or panic attacks. Right? You ever heard this? Who's the young lady that we did a picture of? She's going to watch this video. We're going to embarrass her. Her name is Melanie. She's sweet. She came in with all this, including headaches. She had, anxiety and panic attacks and all these things. Problem right here in her neck. Right? So we started adjusting her. Who fixed her panic attacks and anxiety?
She did.
Her body did.
Her body.
She did. And technically the power that was in there, right? We call it the power of God, right? This innate intelligence that is inside of our body running through her spinal system, her nervous system, and it started organizing everything in her body. So what happened to her anxiety? It went away. What happened to her panic attacks? It went away. What happened to her headaches? They went away. We didn't fix any of those. I know you've adjusted her too. We didn't fix the symptom. We put her body so it can start to work right. If somebody's spine is messed up, and our word for that is subluxation. If somebody's spine is subluxated, if you lined up 100 kids and they had a subluxation in their spine, how many of those kids out of 100 would it mess them up?
All of them.
All of them. Now, an 8-year-old may not be able to tell you something's wrong. Maybe they're not sleeping, allergies, maybe they're getting headaches. You know, I remember when I was a kid, when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, I would have these sinus headaches just knock you out. I mean, if I was living on medications all the time, every day, day in and day out. I was in the hospital some, 12, 15 times before I was 2 years old. I mean, I was already sick. It's partly why I got into what we're doing now, because nobody told my family the truth about how to get healthy until I was a teenager. So your spine is in charge of your heart. Now, how could we tie this in to depression? Because things like depression and anxiety, it's already in your brain. Well, we're saying your brain is controlling all that. Can you ladies connect those dots? Do you remember?
Hormones, neurotransmitters.
Hormones and Can you say that last word again?
Neurotransmitters.
Neurotransmitters. Okay, where are hormones and neurotransmitters made in your body?
In your gut.
Yeah.
A lot of them are made.
So
The neurotransmitters.
Liver?
Your liver. I think as far as hormones go, there's like 84. We counted that one time. It's 82 or 84. There are a bunch of organs involved. Obviously, your ovaries, your testes, guys, all these different parts. But a lot of the neurotransmitters, which are serotonin, dopamine, they actually double as hormones in some cases. A lot of those are actually made in your gut. So hear me out on this. Let's say that it's a child having trouble with attention.
Yeah.
Right? So there's all kinds of neurotransmitters misfiring up here. You've got probably serotonin, dopamine, even ghrelin is, it's a food hormone. But you've got all these hormones bouncing around up here, and they're trying to pay attention. They're also melatonin, for sleep and all that. A lot of those are manufactured down here. Well, if your brain isn't getting to your gut, and your gut isn't communicating to your brain at 100%, doesn't it make sense that it would throw all those neurotransmitters off?
Yeah.
Like deficiency would be the right way to do it. Off, I don't really like that term. You hear people say, oh, my spine is out, or I'm off. Really, it's, are you functioning at 100%, or are you not functioning at 100%?
Yeah.
I want to be functioning at 100%.
Yeah.
So I want Steele to be functioning at 100%. How often do you think I adjust my own kid?
3 to 4
times.
times.
At least like a minimum of 3 times a week.
Yeah. How many times do you adjust your boys?
About the same.
Yeah, and the husband?
The husband, maybe once a week.
Once a week. Lay down, Juan.
Yeah.
When you're married and you have kids, how soon will you adjust your baby?
As soon as I can, right? I mean, if my husband's not a chiropractor, they're going to get it.
You squirt the baby out? Give him to me!
Yeah.
I did. I adjusted Steele with the umbilical cord attached. Try that on. And listen, we have specialties in this. It's nothing like what I do to an adult, and it's so easy, and Steele has a crazy healthy spine. And for those of you that know my daughter out there, she's a freak of nature when it comes to being healthy and happy and sleep. She has absolutely no trouble sleeping. I'm the one that gives her a hard time sleeping, because I just want to stay up and fool around. I just want to goof off with her. I don't want her to go to sleep. I'm the one that keeps her awake. I get in trouble for that. She sleeps great. She doesn't miss any school. She's never ever been to a medical doctor. In 8 years, she's never been to a medical doctor. She's never had a single Tylenol, Advil, never had antibiotics at 8 years old. What's the secret? Well, we get her adjusted. So, and we eat clean. I mean, listen, I don't want to discount nutrition. We're going to talk about that on some later videos, but you've got to get your spine working. So let's bring it all back in for mental health and heart health. Got to get your spine right. Call us up, find us. If you're out there and you're one of our friends and you haven't made it in to see us, I would strongly encourage you to get in here. If you have kids and they're above 5 years old, I'll take at least one set of spinal x-rays up here just to see how their neck is developed. Because what's this thing they're all doing? What's one way a kid is destroying their spine right now? Yeah, what is this?
Cell phones. Yeah.
iPads.
I had a difficult delivery. Mom reminds me all the time that it was like 46 hours of labor. Sorry, Mom. You know, what about a C-section delivery? Highly traumatic on a baby's spine. Then we sit them down as much as we can. We put them in a car seat when they're little. They go to 3 and 4 year olds, preschool, and they're looking down at the desk. They start getting on technology, and it's like this. And you know, the really scary stuff is when you see a teenager hunched over their phone. I mean, that is destroying their spine and their future. You can't damage your spine like that. You're not going to get away with it. You may think you're getting away with it now, right? And you know, even more common in late teen years is asthma. I see so much of that, and I have a feeling it has to do with that, because that part of your spine obviously directly controls your lungs. Yeah. Okay, so get your spine working. Get in here, get your spine checked. We can x-ray you. You know, we have specials all the time. We make it really easy for families to do that. You probably recognize a lot of people that you know when you come in here. So beyond that, getting your spine right, many people, especially with heart issues, if they've been misbehaving, is that Mark Lang Bartels? My old brother there. Okay. Many people have just neglected their health for so long that their body is sorely deficient in a whole variety of nutrients. And this will cause, well, the list of things that will cause is long, but one of the things specifically for the heart is it will cause plaquing. I wanted to ask you this. Can cholesterol cause heart disease?
No.
Does cholesterol cause heart disease? No. The studies that I remember first reading about in 2004, they all said the same thing. Listen to this closely. People are having heart attacks and strokes at the same rate with low cholesterol versus high cholesterol. It doesn't matter the HDL, LDL, VLDL, all that crap. It's the same rate. In fact, the people that artificially lowered their cholesterol with the drug, they died of other things faster. And you can look all that up. It's common knowledge now. It's just, you're not going to see a whole lot of that blasted all over the TV. Why?
Because it doesn't bring money.
Well, who's making the money?
Pharmaceutical companies.
The drug companies. And who's advertising all over the TV?
Pharma?
They are.
And all over YouTube now. I mean, it's like every other commercial everywhere. It's money, 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 money. So you're not going to see a whole lot of truth. It's all, here's your drugs and take this. So what could you do? We made a little list here. Can you be the sign model? Okay, so there, we'll leave that up and let's tilt it down just a little bit so the lights don't get it. There you go. That way, you guys, if y'all want to write that down, you get a little closer here. You get a little closer. Okay, the first thing, obviously, get adjusted. Hope that's not backwards. That might be backwards. Oh, just take it. Here, that's embarrassing. Give me a body to work on, not technology. Okay, so we'll go through these. A lot of you have asked, what do I do for breakfast? And what else is closely related to heart disease? I mean, people come in with 2 or 3 medications or one. A lot of times they're also dealing with what?
You should have lung problems too.
Obesity.
Oh, obesity, right? You got some weight to lose. So I get this all the time. Like, what do you do? I'm hanging in there at 195, right? I've over the last couple of years, I've gone down 25 pounds. But this is one of the things that I added to my regimen, and this is a morning shake. So we call it the Hooten Super Duper Morning Shake. I wish I could tell you that this stuff tastes great, but this is chlorella. I'll do a scoop of that, a scoop of maca powder, and then a scoop of aminos, and these are sweetened with stevia, in water. And then I add the minerals, all right? Minerals. That is my morning drink. Now this is a very low calorie shake. Do y'all know why we want to keep calories low in the morning?
When you're coming off of fasting from sleeping, so you don't want to give yourself a big sugar.
Yeah, if you put in protein in the morning, most of you, not 100% of you, but most of you, if you put in a meal in the morning, even if it's a clean, healthy protein shake, you're going to spike your insulin a little bit. And insulin is what you've got to get control of. If that thing goes up and down, you're going to be eating on and off. It's going to be very hard to lose weight. You're making it harder. So the longer you can go with a more neutral blood sugar or more neutral insulin level throughout the day. This is why the keto diet and intermittent fasting and all those buzzwords right now, this is why they work, because it keeps your insulin levels at a more neutral state. And you can watch a gajillion videos on all that. But this is my morning shake. So it's a scoop of chlorella, a scoop of maca, and a scoop of aminos. Chlorella is, according to anybody that I pay attention to nutrition-wise anywhere in this country, chlorella is the ruler of superfoods. There are so many healthy properties about that. Maca is what we call an adaptogenic root. It's from Peru. Very good for your testosterone system. And ladies, you need some testosterone too. From what I understand about the way the nutrient works is that it keeps your body from converting so much of that testosterone into estrogen. And there's a couple things to do that. Celery is another good one. So that's my shake. Now, all of this obviously is good for your food. It's building health. So I don't do this to treat my heart. I don't have any heart problems at all. But I do this as preventative measures. It's building health always. These I keep throughout the day through my system. And I know you guys too.
Yeah.
You better say yes.
We do.
Minerals are just a basic fuel for your DNA. There are countless, and I mean countless, thousands and thousands of mechanisms throughout your body that totally depend on mineral saturation. It's not just calcium and magnesium. So we like a full mineral supplement because your body will take what it needs and then pee out the rest, right? Another mineral, potassium, all right? We do a lot of hair testing around here. So if you want to see how you're doing with your minerals, this is a very good test. We take a little shaving of your head, send it off to a lab, and it breaks down the mineral content in your hair, and that really points us towards where you might be deficient. Now, if you're deficient in potassium, that's going to make it very hard on your heart and your arteries especially. The elasticity of your arteries depends on keeping everything saturated with minerals, especially potassium. So I supplement this. I did my hair, and I was low in potassium, also low in magnesium, another mineral.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then lately, this is more in the last 6 months, I've been reading a lot about the combination of vitamin C, obviously very good for you, and garlic. And I get this one right now over at Whole Foods. This is just the one I like. You can source your own. But I take these together. And a lot of the advertisements that you see on, all over the place now for circulation and prostate health and testosterone and vitality, when you look up the ingredients of the stuff that works, it's a lot of garlic, a lot of vitamin C. So this is my daily regimen. Specifically for your heart and circulation, if you just want to start somewhere, I would go with vitamin C and garlic. And obviously, if you're getting circulation to your brain, would that help your mental health? Would that help your children? Yeah. If you burp this stuff up, sorry, you're going to taste it. But if you want another place to start just with weight and general health overall, I would go with this shake. And if you want the whole bottle of wax, obviously we've got that up at the front. So to summarize, what are the biggest points? Like, what do you take out of when we talk to people and when we do videos? What if you wanted to grab somebody and tell them one thing about their heart or their mental health, what would you tell them?
Wow.
Dr. Angela first.
Yeah. Definitely to come to the office, get x-rays, remove the pressure of the spine, and just let the body start healing.
Can you say that in Spanish?
Yes. Vengan a la oficina a vernos, tomen radiografías, encontremos la presión de la columna, encontramos la causa de su problema y búsquenos aquí, estamos en Addison.
Okay, you can't say the same thing.
I was going to say that you have to find the source of the problem, but you have to stop treating it and relying on a system that's going to fail you.
I have to stop treating what, specifically?
The symptoms.
Stop trying to treat the symptoms.
Yes.
And?
Find the problem, the root cause.
Build health.
Yeah.
Right, build health. So say that in Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
She's good.
Stop treating the symptoms.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm going to get flustered on this.
My top point, you can get ready.
Oh my gosh.
My biggest thing for people is to understand that their body is made with perfection in mind, right? And it's always trying to be that way. It's always trying to grow into a healthier state. It's trying to be a wonderfully made being. You are trying. Your body is programmed to do that. Your cells are all trying to grow and be right. right? You're not programmed nor destined to be sick, suffering, and dying an early, degenerating death. You're just not made that way. I don't care who you talk to. Maybe this culture, beats it into our families that you're destined to be sick, you're destined to get cancer, you're destined to have heart disease. That's a lie. We're not made that way. All these diseases aren't that old, right? You can trace it back a couple of generations when the medical people started getting involved, and here's all the diagnosis, here's your drugs, here's your drugs, here's your drugs. Healthy people don't take drugs. Healthy cells don't need medication. Healthy cells don't need you believing that you're sick, right? Your body is meant to be well. Think about it. You were a sperm and an egg came together inside of your mom, and you developed over 9 months, right? How much help did you have there? I mean, it's the beauty of creation, right? Then you squirt it out of your mom, right? And all of a sudden now you need help? No, this innate power is in there, and it's always trying. So that's what I wanted to tell people. What do you want to tell people in Spanish? And then you can do it in English.
Tienes que cambiar la vida para lo mejor y necesitas encontrar a la problema que está en tu espina.
So what'd you say in English?
I'll tell them that they need to change their life for the better and find the problem that's in their spine.
All right, so if you need to go back and watch this a couple times to really let it sink in, just take control of your heart now. Be preventative in nature. Your mental health, your clarity, your kids' mental health and clarity, you can certainly improve that if you follow the rules. It's Dr. Hooten signing off.
Dr. Hannah, soon to be.
Dr. Angela.
Love you guys. Talk to you next time.